Coming back from an ACL tear, a calf sprain, and a torn ligament in his throwing wrist, Joe Burrow has still built a phenomenal career for himself. Through all the challenges in his football career, he has still been able to work very hard to get to the top. He was born in Ames, Iowa, but shortly after, he moved to Athens, Ohio to learn his love for football. His entire family was involved with football. His father was a defensive coordinator for Ohio State, while both of his brothers played college football. This would heavily influence Joe's decision to master the game of football. While in high school, Joe didn't always want to be the quarterback. He wanted to try different positions such as running back or wide receiver. He didn't really learn to love quarterback until he gravitated towards it when he learned that it would give him the most influence on the game, according to Frommer. Joe Burrow was always a strong quarterback, being able to lead his team to the high school championship game. During his senior year of high school, Joe knew he wanted to try and play college football. There was a big problem, though. No college teams thought he was good enough. A lot of them thought he was good in high school, but not good enough to play in college. Eventually, Joe made the decision to go and play at Ohio State. While at Ohio State, Joe didn't get a lot of playing time. He only sat on the bench. Eventually, Joe knew that the coaches weren't interested in his playing skills and he needed to look outside of Ohio's stadium. In 2018, Joe Burrow got his degree from Ohio State and that he made the choice to move down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to play for LSU. While at LSU, Joe Burrow got to demonstrate his true and raw quarterback talent. At the beginning of his senior season with LSU, Joe Burrow already developed impressive stats. He's the second most prolific passer in college football, with 368.7 yards per game, and the most accurate 78.6 statistics for a QB, who last year threw for 2,894 yards and 16 touchdowns, while completing 57.8% of his attempts, according to Dellinger. Throughout his season with LSU, Burrow was able to lead his team to a 15-0 season. This impressive record showed that Burrow was able to defeat challenges as they came. Before bringing LSU to the national championship game, Burrow was nominated for the Heisman Trophy. Not only was he nominated, he beat Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, and Chase Young. Burrow won the Heisman Trophy, earning first place votes on a record 90.7% on all ballots, according to Frommer. Burrow's acceptance speech also moved people across the country to donate to people in need. Over $500,000 were raised just from Joe Burrow's acceptance speech, raising awareness about people with food insecurity in Athens, Ohio. After delivering a powerful acceptance speech, Joe Burrow got his head back in the game to play Clemson University for the national championship game. After a tough battle on January 13th, 2020, Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers were declared national champions 42-25. Burrow led LSU to a 15-0 season and a national championship as he put together another stellar performance, completing 31 of 49 passes for 463 yards of 5 touchdowns while rushing for another, according to Witry. While Joe had a very successful year in Baton Rouge, he knew he wanted to play in the NFL. Taking the jump from college football to the NFL was big, but Joe was ready for the challenge. In 2020, Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft and was selected by the Cincinnati Bengals. This gave Joe the chance to move back home to Ohio and live extremely close to home. Joe was elected team captain and started for Cincinnati in the first 10 games as a rookie. This was before he suffered a season-ending injury to his left knee in Game 10. This is according to Joe Burrow QB. In Game 10, Joe Burrow tore his ACL and left him in physical therapy until the start of next season. In 2021, Joe Burrow was back and he was better than ever. He started all 16 regular games and 4 postseason games. After their phenomenal season, the Cincinnati Bengals were able to secure the AFC title and make their way to the Super Bowl. This was the first time the Cincinnati Bengals had been to the Super Bowl since 1989.
Did you know that you're going to the Super Bowl? How is that resonating with you in this moment, the emotions?
No, it's exciting. We worked really hard for this. From last year, going 4-12, I only won 2 games as a starter, having my knee injury, to bringing these free agents, drafting Jamar. Everyone worked so hard for this moment. It's awesome.
Yeah, we saw that chemistry between you and Jamar on display.
On February 6, 2022, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals played the Los Angeles Rams for the final crown. After a tough battle, the Bengals lost 23-20 in the Super Bowl. In 2023, Burrow got the chance to play in the first 10 games of the year. This was before Burrow tore the ligament in his right wrist, which was also his throwing wrist. This would require surgery and leave him in physical therapy until next season. Luckily for the Bengals and Joe, he was ready to go by next season. Unfortunately, the 2024 season has not gone the way that the Bengals have wanted, their record being 4-7. Burrow has had a phenomenal year. Burrow paces the NFL with 3,028 passing yards this season. He also leads the league with 27 touchdown passes, according to Hull. Even when faced with adversity, Burrow has proven that he can make his way to the top. As anyone can see, Joe Burrow has made an impressive career for himself, while bringing his college team to the national championship game, winning the Heisman Trophy Award, being the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, securing an AFC title, making it to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow has fought off adversity all the way to the top. Burrow has made a name for himself in the NFL by not letting any challenge stop him.